Rashid. To begin with, any act of violence, perpetrated against a group of people with a view to obliterating, to wiping out, clearly cannot be endorsed or supported by right-thinking people. We have a situation in Myanmar where the throats of young boys are being slit open, where pregnant women are kicked in the stomach till their death, where the aged, who should be protected, are beaten and cut with machetes, where young girls are gang raped. These are the brutalities and the atrocities that are happening in Myanmar. And to imagine that a Nobel Peace Prize holder in the person of Aung Suu Kyi is a leader of Myanmar and who has not uttered a word in condemnation of what the army and a section of the civilian population are doing against this ethnic minority in their country, clearly should be something that we all ought to be outraged about. When the Jews were persecuted, if the world had shown enough fury, probably a lot of Jews would have been saved. When Africans were brutalized and sent into slavery, and a section of the world had taken a moral high ground and said, wait a minute, you can't treat people like that, probably the numbers of Africans who were sent into slavery would have been less than what we had seen. If you look at the situation in Rwanda, if there had been enough outrage showed by all of us, and when I say all of us, I mean the world, against what was happening, probably a lot of mothers, a lot of babies, a lot of elderly, a lot of youths would have been saved. What is happening in Myanmar against the Rohingya Muslims is a genocide. And this is not Ras Mubarak saying it. You have to read the 2016 Amnesty International report and the UN report on human rights in Myanmar. These things have been well documented. You have to read reports that have come in by aid workers within that country. And I think that little acts like stripping her of the title of a Nobel laureate, like imposing sanctions on her country, would probably get her to do the right thing. This is grossly intolerable, and the world, I think, is not showing enough outrage. Well, don't forget, the Rohingya Muslims have been persecuted for quite a long time, and the violence against them and their people didn't start today or yesterday. It's been going on for years, and clearly, when you push somebody to the wall, there may be some reactions, and clearly what the Rohingya people are reported to have done is nowhere near the years of persecution. Look, these people are not allowed to farm. They live in a country where they are not even recognized. They are not given citizenship. I mean, can you imagine being in the United States of America and blacks or Hispanics told that even though they have been there for donkey years, they can't be recognized as citizens of the United States of America? It's an outrage. The UN describes the Rohingya Muslim group as the world's most persecuted minority group. The world's most persecuted minority group. And tell me, anywhere in the world where people have been consistently persecuted, have been massacred, their farms destroyed, their homes destroyed. Show me a group of people who wouldn't, fight back. But clearly, they don't have the strength, to fight back. And clearly, you would have packets or scores of such reprisal attacks against the army. These are people whose children are not allowed to go to school, who are not allowed to integrate, who are seen as backward, and they mustn't be allowed to live in Myanmar. And to imagine that a holder of the Nobel Peace Prize, who had the support of the entire world when she was being persecuted by the military junta in her country, would take over the leadership role and play dumb and deaf to such atrocious acts of barbarity against the minority group. It's sickening. The answer to that is simply because they're not sitting on an oil deposit, or because they're not sitting on a gold reserve. You would know that if a section of where the Rohingya Muslims live today had some natural resources, had some gold and bauxite and diamond, there would have been boots on the on the ground. America would have been making a whole heap of noise. Britain would have been making a lot of noise. France, Germany would have been making a lot of noise. And there's a complete disinterest. We've seen this happen consistently. Iraq was invaded just so they can steal their oil and gold reserves. So with Turkey. So with Libya and several other countries. And this is a level of moral decay that some of us feel right-thinking citizens of the world ought to be speaking about or speaking against. It's unfortunate. And to think that in 2017, in the 21st century, barbarities such as what is happening in Myanmar could be taking place and would not receive the necessary attention, the necessary anger by the international community. There's so much hypocrisy. So much hypocrisy from Europe, from America, from the Middle East, from Africa, and from Asia. And for me, giving help shouldn't only go to people who seem to have something to give back, but should go to people who actually need that help. It's disgraceful that all these so-called superpowers have done little, to stop these brutalities. If they really want to put a stop to it, they would, but they are absolutely not interested. Insofar as they are Muslims or they are not sitting on gold reserve and oil reserves, it's business as usual. Let's call a spade and not a big spoon. It's ethnic cleansing. It's genocide. Calculated at wiping out a group of people simply because of their religion and their ethnicity. I'm sorry, but that is complete nonsense. Complete, utter nonsense. We've seen the images, we've read the reports. The United Nations is a credible body. Amnesty International is a credible body. We've seen independent aid organizations independently corroborate the reports by the UN Al Jazeera has done some fantastic investigative reporting on it. And there's a huge body of evidence, to support the report of the United Nations that, look, something really, really bad is happening in Myanmar under the watch of the world's darling girl, Aung Suu Kyi. For me, she's a right candidate for trial for war crimes, crimes against humanity, crimes against people who are citizens of Myanmar, but because of their religion and ethnicity are being driven out. Don't forget, Myanmar, what used to be called Burma, it's about 85% Buddhist, with the Christian population being about 5%, 6%, and the Muslim population is about 4 or 5%, And to suggest that these innocent people, the men and women, children, they are brutalizing. I mean, the throats of kids are slit in front of their parents. Girls are raped in front of their mothers. Pregnant women are kicked in the stomach. In some cases, their tummies slit open and unborn babies removed. That is the level of inhumanity against these people. And for somebody to call them terrorists is sheer nonsense. You're absolutely right. And in Myanmar, the military clearly wields a lot of power and influence. And she clearly may not have her way with the generals. But if she can't stop it, she can speak out against it. And she clearly is notorious for expressing outrage over inhumane treatments meted out to her in the past. All of a sudden, she's lost her voice. She can't take a moral high ground. All of a sudden, she sees no evil, hears no evil. All of a sudden, she's tacitly supporting what is happening. She's leader of the country. And if she feels overwhelmed by the powers of the military, she can use her voice. The world expects so much from her, or expected so much from her. Unfortunately, she's fallen short. I think that's a very interesting position. The fact that there has never been a precedent doesn't mean there cannot be one today or tomorrow. The fact that an award has never been revoked does not mean it cannot be revoked today or tomorrow. The Nobel Peace Prize is a very prestigious award conferred on people who have distinguished themselves in the line of promoting peace and security in their little corners around the world. Now, if a holder of a peace prize brings disrepute to the very award she holds, if you are a member of the Nobel Council, or committee rather, you ought to be revisiting your position about not revoking the award. We have seen several instances, and you obviously cannot compare the Nobel Awards to, say, athletics. But the same principle that allows for the athletics committee to revoke the medals of athletes who have fallen short of expectation in terms of their conduct who have been investigated and found out to have, used one substance or another. At the time the awards were conferred on them, have had their awards revoked. We are simply saying that they should do this based on a matter of principle. And the principle is that Aung San Suu Kyi is an award winner. Yes, Aung San Suu Kyi is also superintending, supervising, overseeing acts of genocide against an ethnic minority group. And that the mere fact that she is a holder of a Nobel Peace Prize raises or puts in or casts doubts on the, I wouldn't say the credibility of the Nobel Institute, but makes nonsense of the fact that this could be happening in a country where the leader is an award winner for peace. I've seen an online petition. I've written to the chairperson of the Nobel Committee, and I think that when they are bombarded with appeals for them to look into this issue again, for them to revoke the award, I sincerely believe that they would take action. And I would like to use this opportunity to encourage you. It's a good thing we're discussing this. If the BBCs, if the CNNs, if the Fox News and the major news outlets have dedicated enough airtime to this issue in Myanmar, I'm sure Trump would have taken notice. So you're doing a great job. It would be greater if you organize an online petition where your listeners, can sign up and let their voices be heard. Let humanity prevail in this world. And as His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie said, until the philosophy which holds one race superior over another is trampled and utterly destroyed, there will always be war. And in wars, it is children, it is women, it is the elderly, it is the youth who've got their future ahead of them that suffer. I would even go a step further to ask that severe sanctions should be imposed on Myanmar. Aung San Suu Kyi, clearly a candidate to be cited for war crimes and genocide. And if she or any of the Burmese authorities step out of their country, they should be arrested. I'm happy with the posture that Recep Tayyip Erdogan has taken, the president of Turkey. I'm also happy that Bangladesh, Indonesia, and just this dawn, Saudi Arabia has announced some humanitarian aid to the people who are fleeing. We all should add our voices to it, and we all should make those voices heard and very loud and clear. We have seen the impacts of hashtags, impacts of social media campaigns. And clearly, the little things that you and I do or would do on social media, on our Facebook and Twitter handles, could bring about a change, could save a life, could ensure that a baby is born in a very conducive atmosphere. What is happening in Myanmar is unacceptable. The Pope has condemned it. Scores of people, a handful of people have expressed their outrage, but that is not enough. The voices have to be louder enough for them to take, for the military, for the bigots in Myanmar, for the administration in Myanmar to say enough is enough. Otherwise, they should go down. And if Turkey, from all indication, is prepared to send troops, if the rest of the world wouldn't, support it, we should be applauding Turkey, for taking the moral high ground and for doing and providing leadership, something that the United States of America, something that Africa, something that Europe should be in the forefront. And I believe that when we all add our voices to this campaign to stop the genocide, some lives will be saved.